The Super Bowl, the United States' most iconic sporting event. This year, it delivered exactly what it always does: a blockbuster football game, a celebrity-packed halftime show, and the muscular flex of the world's most powerful and arguably most destructive military.
Present or
The NFL and militarism have always had a relationship, even going back into the 1960s. It was really the first sport that knew how to manipulate television. The sport where you can essentially plan your afternoon around. It's Sunday, you're gonna sit there, watch TV, eat your nachos. It's a great place for the military as well to have a presence.
Football's history is, one of being a violent contact sport, and it still mimics military training exercises. You have men literally blocking other men. It's a direct show of physical force.
Militarism is part of the football language. The players talk about being in the foxhole with their teammates. They throw deep bombs down the field. There's so much of football has war analogies to them. So there was a natural pairing. It is the one place where you encourage and you emphasize the real raw nature of physical contact. And both sides, both the NFL and the American military, benefit from this relationship.
we're paying tribute to our nation's greatest heroes.
The tie-in between the U.S. National Football League, the NFL, and the military is hardly unique. The world's most extravagantly funded war machine also runs a vast public relations operation, working closely with Hollywood, video games producers, and major sports. American football, in particular, offers a multitude of opportunities for the military to showcase its hardware, recruit new soldiers, and reinforce the narrative surrounding America's wars. The weaponization of football began in the 1960s.
I'm somewhat of a football fan.
When President Richard Nixon became the first sitting U.S. president to attend a game, as the U.S. erupted in mass protest against the Vietnam War. Since then, the scale and spectacle of military displays escalated steadily.
Are children of some of the brave Americans who have been deployed through Operation Desert Storm in the Persian Gulf.
Reaching a high point during the United States' so-called War on Terror in the early 2000s.
And now joining our distinguished veterans, our two former commanders-in-chief, the 42nd and 41st Presidents of the United States, William Jefferson Clinton and George Herbert Walker Bush.
We kind of bristle when we see these large military displays in totalitarian regimes like North Korea. We are somehow culturally offended when we see these large military parades in places like China. But in many ways, the flyovers at NFL football games are the same exact things. And we can then, I think, make a very strong argument that organizations like the National Football League are complicit in making that militarization culturally acceptable and culturally comfortable. And because the NFL benefits by attaching itself to those displays of patriotism and gratitude, everybody seemingly wins. But in reality, I would argue that democracies are not well served by the militarization of their societies.
The National Football League benefits from being associated with patriotism. It has decided that patriotism is part of its business model. And nothing suggests patriotism more than the military, than the industry that defends us, and that defends and protects the borders. It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Just how beneficial this arrangement has been for the NFL became clear in a 2015 investigation conducted by 2 U.S. senators.
Contracts had some form of patriotism included in them.
What we're just learning about some of those patriotic scenes honoring our veterans at major sporting events.
Are paid acts of patriotism.
The investigation revealed that over a 3-year period, nearly $7 million in taxpayer funds were used to pay professional sports teams to stage displays of U.S. militarism during games. It became known as the paid patriotism scandal. As the report put it, unsuspecting audience members became the subjects of paid marketing campaigns rather than simply bearing witness to teams' authentic, voluntary shows of support for the U.S. military.
The father, the husband, who has just completed his 5th tour in Afghanistan.
Everything from the recognition of wounded warriors, surprise homecomings of soldiers, and on-field enlistment ceremonies had been paid for by the Department of Defense, what the Trump administration has renamed the Department of War. The investigation forced the Pentagon to agree to ban the practice, and the NFL returned taxpayers' money. The scandal didn't put a dent in the NFL-military relationship, though.
If anything, I think the NFL has only become more entrenched in its relationship to patriotism, whether manufactured or not. You have soldiers returning home and appearing on field. You constantly have members of the military who are present at games.
Let's hear it one more time for the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon.
It benefits the military a lot to have a relationship with the NFL. There are literally campaigns that get broadcast during games.
It's the will to fight and determination to win.
America's Secret Service protecting this Super Bowl is asking a few more to step forward.
There are, in some stadiums, recruitment tables for the military. So there's the soft power of having a marketing association with the NFL, but then there's also the real tangible effect of the fact that you're able to sign people up to join the military at games themselves.
Americans are comfortable with the militarization as long as they don't have to think too deeply about it. I can feel good about the American flag being unfurled. I can sing the national anthem and watch my team stand at attention to pay their respects, and then we can get to the heart of the matter, which is watching a sporting event.
For many years, another U.S. armed force has been a presence at the Super Bowl.
Will there be ICE enforcement at the Super Bowl?
We'll be all over that place. And we're going to enforce the law. So I think people should not be coming to the Super Bowl unless they're law-abiding Americans who love this country.
The notorious Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, known as ICE, deploys officers at the games. The agency says its role is to combat human trafficking, counterfeit merchandise, and to ensure that so-called illegal immigrants are not among the spectators. This year, more than most, those justifications rang hollow. In the past month alone, 8 people have either been killed by ICE officers or have died in ICE custody. As a result, ICE has not benefited from the glitz, the communal spectacle, and stage-managed patriotism that has been so useful to the U.S. military in its association with the NFL.
In many ways, what you're seeing on screen during these celebrations at football games and in events like the Super Bowl is a sanitized version of military service and participation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand with us and show your support for all these brave men and women.
And it's a way then for Americans to feel patriotic without seeing the ugly side of war. And it allows them to participate in this process without feeling guilty about what we actually see in our families and communities for those who return home from war, who are dealing with the emotional, mental, and physical traumas of war. None of that is really displayed in these events.
What is taking place is this battle. It is a propaganda battle. It's a battle of images. It's a battle of manipulation. Who gets to promote what they want you to see? Don't tell me it's apolitical. I'm not stupid. All you need to do is watch one afternoon of football and just track what images are being sold to you, what messages are being sent, and you see that it's much, much more than a game.
Thank you for watching. Hit that like button and leave us a comment to let us know what you thought about anything we covered this week. And don't forget to follow us on social media. The links are in the description, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter for updates from the show.